Right, let's get into our first discussion of the day now. The National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress has pledged to fully support its national leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to achieve his task of reconciling all aggrieved members and groups in the party.
Well, it's made the pledge on Wednesday when it received Tinubu at the APC National Secretariat in Abuja. Tai Amodu was there.
The All Progressives Congress is presently facing conflicts in many of its states going into election year and must now think of reconciling many of its aggrieved members if it is to have a fighting chance come 2019. Recognizing this, President Muhammadu Buhari could think of no better personage to lead this reconciliation drive than the APC national leader, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And to start off his assignment, Tinubu had visited the president at the presidential villa on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the APC national leader made an appearance at the APC National Secretariat, where he was warmly received by the National Working Committee of the party. In his opening remarks to journalists, Asiwaju Tinubu noted that the party had come into power with a lot of goodwill, but was now at a point where it needed to reconcile all aggrieved groups within the party if it was to present a united front.
We've never governed before, or won the confidence of Nigerians to govern. We have a creed as is to really serve the country, change and reform the country. It's not easy to have those changes implemented like instant coffee. We have to grow it. We have to face challenges. I sympathize with us and we should equally look at ourselves since we won the election. That the expectations was very high and goodwill was extremely high. But where are we today?
Thereafter, the APC national leader and members of the National Working Committee had withdrawn behind closed doors for an exploratory meeting. Responding to questions after the closed-door meeting, the National Working Committee was unanimous in its support for Tinubu in his new assignment, promising to work with him to make it a success.
We are all happy to work together. We are very delighted that Asiwaju has been given this assignment as our leader. And we are all ready and willing to cooperate with him to look at areas across the country where we have issues. We're a political party, and definitely we must have issues, and we know where those issues are. So the task of us is very clear, to reconcile members where they have disagreements, and for us to rebuild our party moving forward and ahead of the next election.
The APC national leader has been given a free hand by the president to do all necessary to reconcile aggrieved groups in the party all over the country, and is to personally choose those who will work with him in his reconciliation committee. Tai Amodu, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, we have joining us in the studio a member of the APC in Lagos, Joe Igbokwe. Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, first, do you think Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the best man for the reconciliation job?
Who else? Who else? You know, he has a background knowledge of, you know, politics, economy, and every other thing you can think of. He has the experience. He has been the governor of Lagos State, a country within a country. I've been following him for close to 25 years now, and I know that he has not failed in anything he lays his hands on. I remember in 2007, when Fashola was to come into the saddle, I remember about 14 aspirants, gang up against Fashola. It's not going to happen. They were addressing the press every other day. We did our own. But we didn't know how to actually manage to continue to bring them one by one until all of them came back to the fold. This is a man that has built formidable networks, you know, across Nigeria. There's no state in this country that if you have 20 people gathered, and probably when somebody is talking against him, you will not find 5 people that are loyal to him that we report back what is going on. That's the Chiwaju for you. The man that has risen above primordial sentiments and ethnic preoccupation to build a formidable network, like I said, across Nigeria. He is not an uncivilized countryman, you know, found in the vortex, you know, vortex of power. He's not. He has this command, you know, he knows how to reconcile with people. I've seen it in Lagos for over the past probably 20 years. So he is the best man for the job. Okay. Let me just say it. And he has a lot of respect across Nigeria. You can see the National Networking Committee of the party. His job is simple: reconcile, build confidence within the party, encourage. And right from day one, he has started doing the job. They are coming, and he's going to them.
All right. Let me start with one of the quotes here. The Vanguard newspaper quoted part of what he said. He said APC has lost goodwill since 2015, and that is just part of what he was saying. From the minds of Nigerians, measuring the expectations before or shortly before or by 2015 when this government came in and until now, from your perspective and what you've been hearing people say, does the party still have goodwill of the people?
Okay, you know, there are people who wait for 5 minutes to prominence or 5 minutes to greatness. You know, it never happens. It never happens. If you want to plant, if you are interested in 1 year, plant cassava. If it's for 10 years, plant a tree. If it's for 100 years, you know, raise your kids. Pay for their education if you are planning for 100 years. You see, success is not an event. It's not an event. A house or a government or a country that has been debased, defamed and destroyed for 16 years cannot be fixed overnight. Evidence is there of the massive looting, destruction.
But one would say 3 years is not overnight.
It's not overnight, but it's not enough for you to begin to build. This is all what happened. I always give analysis of Lagos and Nigeria. I always do that comparison. How we started in 1999, how Lagos started in 1999. The same Achaju that we are talking about was the governor of Lagos State in 1999. When he was elected, he set up, you know, brought 40 wise men to prepare a roadmap for Lagos. That roadmap has been followed to the letter as I speak to you. The evidence is there in Lagos.
I'm glad you mentioned...
I'll bring Abuja. You want to?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned roadmap, meaning that there was a plan. Many have been saying that, in fact, the APC didn't have a plan. The APC didn't prepare to have power, and was even surprised because that would explain why it took the president almost 6 months or thereabout to even set up his cabinet in the first place.
You didn't allow me to finish. I need to finish it before I go back to your question. The government of Nigeria APC inherited was a Nigeria that was battered beyond recognition, stolen to bones. Stolen to bones. In those days when we were in school, we say, if you're skinny, they would say you have read yourself to bones. Stolen to bones. Everything in sight was taken. Everything that we have lacked in this country can be traced to corruption. Every damn thing. So that was the structure APC inherited. And I can tell you that the men that we have in APC are not people that you can write off. They have a background too. I know that Fashla is there. I know that Fahimi is there.
But some defected from the PDP to the APC.
It does not matter. It's a political party. We are not running away from that. We're talking about those. I'm talking about those that are in APC. I'm not talking about those that were in APC initially. I'm not talking about those that join us. Of course, you saw what those who joined us, what they did, because a leopard cannot change his skin. You saw what they did. When the leadership of the National Assembly were to emerge, you saw what they did. So, see, if you are going to a war, you have to plan very well. You're talking about 6 months to keep the government running. If you're going to a war, you have to use the best general. You have to plan. You have to look at the maps. You have to know where you're going.
But from the time he won the election, he was declared the winner, to the time he got sworn in as president, he had months to
He's
plan.
coming to power. First, he told you that he looked into the treasury and nothing was found. As the man was about taking off, they started blowing, those who lost the election started blowing oil pipelines across. And you know that these pipelines supply gas to power stations. As if that was not enough, the oil price crashed. So, you know, if you don't, I always say it, if you go to a doctor in the morning and tell a doctor that you have a stomach upset, that will ask you what you ate yesterday, you should be able to explain what you ate. The doctor will start the diagnosis from there. You see, you don't expect that magic will come overnight. And beside that, this government has made humongous progress. But the only thing that liars from the pit of hell will not allow us, will not even see it.
Okay.
I use the word liars from the pit of hell. They will not see it. They don't want to see it. They tell you that the man is a failure. But let me also tell you, I come from Southeast. Southeast, they could not fix the major roads in 16 years have been fixed now, even in the face of dwindling resources. They have been fixed. I'm talking about Enugu, even though they did not vote for APC. PMB scored only 193,000 votes, but it didn't stop him from fixing.
Must you vote for the number one candidate, citizen of a state or a party before you get the dividends of democracy?
No,
when you win elections,
I'm just telling you that what they did not do in 16 years, that I'm seeing it in the Southeast, being done. As I speak to you now, we have been generating, our internal revenue has exceeded what is coming in from oil. That has not been achieved in 45 years. They are not seeing it. They are not seeing the humongous improvement in the agri sector. They are not seeing it. They are not seeing the massive production of rice in Nigeria. They are not seeing it. They don't want to look at it. They are not seeing the growth in other sectors. And I've talked about infrastructure, that you need to kickstart the economy. That's what you need.
All right, Joe, let me bring you back to why we're here in the first place, so we don't lose track of some of these things. Because for the benefit of those who are watching, I know certainly people from across the divide are watching and are trying to place what you're saying against what they can feel back at home. But let's leave that. Coming back to the issue of reconciliation within the party, which the president has given the mandate to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, one would say this is an election year, so reconciliation has become very expedient one way or the other. But a lot of people have accused the APC of not having internal democracy in the first place. What do you have to say about that?
It's not, it's a figment of their own imagination. They never, in their own imagination, they never believe that APC is going to come to power.
A figment of their imagination?
No, I said, no matter how you look at it, they never believe that
I recall how
APC is going to come to power.
Who got the ticket of the party to run for the governorship position, the figure of the delegates that voted him in were way higher than the normal figure of the delegates on ground.
So what has he got to do with internal democracy?
Internal democracy, that is democracy. If one figure is higher than what is supposed to be, is that democracy?
Well, I don't know about it though, because I was not there.
Okay.
I work for Lagos.
Okay.
I don't know about it.
All right.
But you see, you don't expect that a party as big as APC, it just, everything will just be moving, everything will just be normal, everybody will just agree. No, you have to have these internal wranglings, these internal contradictions, It is your ability to manage and resolve these conflicts that you have that makes you a political party. These things will come. These things we come.
But some are taking deadly dimensions, really, and many states under the APC are somehow in crisis. Big wigs at loggerheads.
Yes.
You can talk about Kano State, talk about Kaduna,
yes.
Zamfara, even in Katsina, there is a pocket of it. Or your state is there. Benue, Governor Tom seems to be like an abandoned child that the party is not even looking at, or even other members of the party. And then Gombe State as well. There are big wigs of the party.
That is it. Politics is a struggle for power. If you don't struggle to be on the front seat, they will push you to the back seat. That's what you see. Control. It is part of democratic process.
Personal ambition?
Yes, it's part of democratic process.
Okay.
Governor Mbakwe of the blessed memory said, if you don't struggle to get to political power, your enemies will get there and use it to deal with you. So everybody wants to be on the driver's seat. And these are some of the things that are natural in political organizations all over the world. It's a struggle to be on the front seat. You have to fight for everything that you will get. When it gets out of hand, as it's getting out of hand, then you bring the masters to go and reconcile. It's part of the process. There is no product unless you have a production process. Product goes through production processes to see it out. You can't just pick a product without a process. These are processes. They are part of life. Problems are part of life. So you don't tell me that you are not having problems.
All right, Joe, let me ask you.
Must have it.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
I remember you were on this program.
Yes.
You were sitting right here.
Yeah.
So many, I think several months ahead, when we were asking you about Atiku Abubakar, you said, don't worry, we know where this thing is going. Eventually it happened, exactly. Eventually it happened the way you said it, where Atiku had to leave the APC to another political party. It was like your prediction came to pass. Looking at what is going on, especially from a state like Benue, where there are already some comments here and there that the governor might defect to another political party, although it's just rumors.
Well, in fact, he said if his people want him to leave, he would.
Now, this wranglings within party that, like you put it, in different parties, do you think, especially like in Kano State, a lot of people are saying Kwankwaso might also leave, defect to another political party, and so on. Do you think at this point, with these wranglings here and there, some of the big wigs in the political party could leave for another political party, just like Atiku did?
You have to octopus
let me come now. Which political party are they going to?
Okay, whichever one they go to.
Is it the dead PDP are going to see? Some of them are in a dilemma. They don't know where to go. It's not like APC in those days. Brand new, sophisticated APC. This one is a dead party. A dead party that put us in the mess that we're in here. Is that where you're going to go?
That was what many thought.
The train has left the station.
That was what many thought until Atiku Abubakar defected and went back.
Leave him. That one is today, this party. People must be known for their consistency. You see, we are discussing Asiwaju today. In 2003, only Lagos was left. They were in alliance with Obasanjo. And the alliance is that says, look, we will support you to remain the president, but support us to have our own states. The man became the president and stole the other states. They couldn't. Lagos, they tried. They have posted results on the internet. But they were afraid of what is going to happen.
Now, let's look at what you
I'm coming now. Okay. They were afraid of what is going to happen. And they couldn't take Lagos. And the man started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Through solid personal effort, commitment, discipline, remaining where you are, even in the face of difficulties. He remained resilient, you know. He remained courageous. That's why we celebrate him today. Not people who, today they're here, tomorrow they're here, Rolling Stone.
Okay.
We're going to let him ask more questions, answer more questions. It's time for the news update. And
that's true. Now we're back to our discussion on the reconciliation machine that has been set in motion by President Muhammadu Buhari and putting Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the national leader of the APC, in charge of that daunting task, as many saying it looks to be. And we've been talking to Joe Ibukwe, a member, of course, the spokesperson of the party in Lagos. Thank you for holding on. Before we went for the break, you were talking about the need to be consistent and to be grounded wherever you are. And then, this Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, really, you said earlier that he's not being celebrated with this task, but then after President Muhammadu Buhari got warning, many saw or perceived that there was this wedge between them somehow, that he wasn't regarded anymore, that in fact at a point he was not even seen close to Aso Rock or even the national leadership of the APC. But now that things are like this, and you said earlier that he's the best man for the job, that the president is just using him to serve his own interests.
No, don't go there. Don't go that side. The man sounds a fool. I'm talking about Chiwaju now. We know those who are in this government. If you look at them.
Why not in the national chairman of the party?
Well, what's the meaning of national chairman of the party? The man is bigger than some of these things. After all, the man who is the national chairman of APC is Chiwaju's nomination. How do you put him there against Tommy Kimi? So the man sound is fool. It's just that an institution as big as Asiwaju can be feared by, you can't rule that one out. A lot of people, the fear of Asiwaju is beginning of wisdom. If some people, I was privileged to see a report that was given to the president, but, probably don't allow this man to come too close. He's going to manipulate, he's going to take charge, these are things you see in politics. But Asiwaju's image or respect has never been diminished in any way, because his people are everywhere in this government. If I can list it, there's no need to do so.
I remember Senator Shehu saying that it was time for the president to reconcile with the Lion of the Lagoon to make things right in his government.
There has never been any conflict.
No conflict.
There has never been any conflict. It's just the conflict, like I've said earlier, is just a figment of imagination. Some people who there's people around president that don't want that. It's a struggle for power. They don't want him to get close. But when you bring somebody like that in with that wealth of experience, you get a lot from it. Like what he's doing now. Assuming that he was asked to do this before, I think everything would have been okay. You know what happened? You know what happened in Kogi State? It was fear of Asiwaju that led to that mess. This man that is there now did not even, he was not even a member of APC. Just not being a member of APC. But because of the fear of Asiwaju.
And that is why a lot of people are saying, is there proper internal democracy? Because if there's so much influence from just one personality in a political party that has a collection of a lot of people, that's why people are asking.
You will always have champions. You will always have leaders. People can always be afraid of leaders or be, show some, envy about leaders. These are the things that you see. When you are going up, some people are going down. So those who are going down are not happy.
Signposting Kogi State now, how would he be successful in this job given to him? Because we have the governor, Bello, at one point, Senator Dino Melaye, and then Honorable Faleke as well.
He commands, like I said.
We know where they stand. And then Dino Melaye as well, you remember the statement he made that I cannot even repeat on national TV against Asiwaju's wife.
Take Dino Melaye out of it.
But
he's just a senator from that state. He's just a senator representing one of that state. Asiwaju will try to. Asiwaju does not.
Because if you have to unite, you need not just the powerful, but even the powerless.
Once you come back to him, I say I've worked with him for close to 25 years. I know those who abused him, they went away. They came back and started begging, and he will always take you back. They will come back. He's a national leader. A leader must have a large heart to accommodate people when they come back. You
don't see that as a weakness?
You mean the...
Accommodating, even when someone is working against you, once the person comes back to you, you allow the person back into the fold.
It's not weakness. It's leadership. Leadership, everybody has a value. There's no 0% in this world. No 0%.
All right.
Everybody is important.
In all of the states where things are happening, from Kaduna State, where you have the governor against Senator Shehu Sani on one hand, in River State, where you have Mechi against Abe, in Kano, where you have Ganduje against Kwankwaso, in Oyo State, where you have the issues, Kogi State, governor against the Senate, and then in Benue, where the governor feels abandoned by his own political party.
In fact, governors of Kaduna and Kano just said that he won't get the second-term ticket.
Exactly.
Are they that powerful that they can't decide the fate of another governor?
In all of this, which do you think is going to be more challenging for Asiwaju Tinubu to put together?
Asiwaju possesses the energy, the drive, the intelligence, experience, the right connection to deal with these challenges. He has the capacity to deal with these challenges. I know my leader. He's going to deal with it. You know, let's not worry about these things. By the time we get to the bridge, or the bridges, we'll start crossing them one by one, one by one. So, all right. The party is in good hands now. Okay. He is the most reliable person you can put on that job. That's the wisest decision Buhari has made in recent times, to bring Asiwaju to come and reconcile the party, to come and build confidence within the party. That is a major decision. And with that, APC will never be the same again. We are coming.
Okay.
I'm just.
You know, you're like the octopus now.
I'm just pitying some
tells
people.
The future.
I'm just pitying some people because they whip again.
But Joe, the point is Nigerians are watching. A lot of Nigerians are not happy, but they're watching how things are going. More people are getting their PVCs, even though we still,
of course, belongs
exactly.
to the people.
And the people ultimately have the powers.
The man has no competitor.
All right.
Who is going to challenge him? Tell me.
Has he declared he would run?
Who is going to? Who is?
Has he declared he would run?
I said, let me make, for emphasis sake, PMB remains the greatest access to APC. He has to be begged to remain the presidential candidate. If we put any other person, cannot get.
But other political parties will certainly come up with their own candidates.
Who?
Joe, let's leave it here now. Joe, let's leave it here now.
Where are they? You cannot give what you don't have.
Let's just wait. Let's wait and see.
You can't give what you don't have.
We've been talking with Joe Ibukwe, the spokesperson of APC in Lagos State. We must thank you very much for coming on the program. All right, it's time for the sports now, and Solomon Ajizogo is standing by for that before we go into the next.
Yes.